back on the Friends of Kevin radio show. I'm now joined by my friend Anita from Budget Buddies. Hey, Anita, what's going on today? How you doing?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm always doing good. Why don't we start at the beginning? What is Budget Buddies?
Well, Budget Buddies is a brand new nonprofit, and we have the task of providing financial coaching to low-income women in the Greater Lowell area.
I just really think this is a really cool concept and stuff because, like you said, until you get those skills, you're going to find yourself repeating the same mistakes you're always making.
Exactly, and there's not enough of this taught in the public schools, and a lot of people, get into adulthood and they really don't know how to manage their money effectively. So
why did you guys launch this program? Why did you think it was important?
Well, I've been a financial writer for a long time, and I worked for Fidelity Investments and a lot of other mutual fund companies and banks that helped middle-income and upper-income adults learn about managing their money. And I just felt for a long time that lower-income households really didn't have that kind of support. And so it's kind of been a passion of mine to try and provide that. And I hooked up with Kathy Bruff, who's the other founding mother of Budget Buddies, and we'd worked together for a long time on political activities, and she has a strong background in working with social service agencies in the Lowell area. So together we did some research and found that there's just a huge need for this. One of the things that we realized was that the case managers who help a lot of low-income clients with various benefits like food stamps and housing and so forth just don't have the time to train them in effective money management skills.
So now, are there other programs like yours in this area?
There are a few programs. Well, some of the banks provide financial education, but it's for a different audience. It's really for a middle-income audience. There are a few agencies who do workshops around the area for the general public as a whole, but ours is really the one that's really targeted toward low-income households and particularly toward women households.
So now, have you been involved in a project like this before?
The only thing that I've really done before is teach. So for me, this was a brand new experience. Actually getting out and meeting with the social service agencies and trying to pull this together. So my main background, as I said, is is just financial writing, and Kathy's background, actually, her professional background is as an operations manager. So this is brand new territory for us in many ways.
So now, why did you decide to focus on women?
Women, well, for one thing, women have a much greater tendency to live in poverty for a variety of reasons. They have to take time off from work. They're more likely to take care of children and older members of their family. They're more likely to work part-time. Their wages are generally lower. And so for many of these reasons, women end up in poverty. For another reason is that we felt that if we could help women, we could also help families as a whole, because, of course, many children live with their mothers, and so we'd be helping, those households as well. And then the third factor is the studies show that women learn financial skills a little differently than men do, and they're much more apt to learn the skills that they need in the company of other women. So, we had worked with women in other parts of our volunteer lives, and we thought, well, let's work with a population that we're familiar with and that really needs our help.
So now, when it comes to coaching, because you work with women, I assume you're looking for women coaches. Can men be coaches?
Well, we asked the clients that, and they resoundingly said they wanted women as coaches.
Okay.
I think it's a comfort level. I think there's a feeling like another woman will understand what I'm going through as a mother and the struggle that I might have financially. So, it's kind of become sort of like a Big Sisters program, if you're familiar with that.
Yep.
And so there's just an additional level of comfort in working with women. We use men in many other parts of the organization. So, even though at this point we don't have men coaching, generally we do need help from volunteers, including men.
So now, tell me how the program works then.
So the program has several different pieces to it. We find ourselves an agency that needs our help. We come in and we design a program for them. We try to build then a curriculum that it suits their particular needs. And we learned from a pilot program that we can't just jump into the coaching part of the program, that people really need a little more support to feel comfortable talking about these very personal issues. So everybody starts with Budget Buddies Basics, and that's 4 sort of roundtable discussions where we just talk in general about money. We don't make it personal unless people want to talk about their personal experiences. And then after those sessions, if people feel comfortable and they've learned a few financial terms and want to go further, they fill out an application with us and then join our coaching program. In the meantime, we're recruiting coaches for a particular program and letting them know, the kind of women that they'll be working with and getting them all oriented and ready to go. Then the coaching program has 2 pieces to it. One is a workshop piece where the coaches and their buddies go to workshops together. These are workshops on banking, budgeting, credit. We also have a couple of workshops on personal growth, centered around setting financial goals, because we found that the personal piece of it is so important. People really have to be confident in their ability to manage money if they're going to do it effectively. So in between, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Keep going. That's good.
The workshops were designed. We've had some help from some professional coaches, people who coach people to get jobs and that sort of thing, as well as the Jeanne d'Arc Credit Union, which has been great in helping us design the core curriculum, the banking, budgeting, and credit workshops.
So now what is the role of the coaches?
So in between the workshops, the coaches meet with their buddies, and they reinforce what goes into the workshop. So, if you've been to a workshop yourself, you know that, you might be real jazzed after you get out of the workshop for a couple of days, and then as time goes by, you sort of forget what you learned, and you become less and less motivated over time. So the coaches are there to reinforce the workshops, to, kind of keep the material in front of their buddies and do additional exercises. And then they also deal with the specific financial issues that each person comes into the program with. So somebody might need help with budgeting. Somebody might need help with a lot of debt that they've built up. We've had clients with tax problems that they needed to deal with, student loans that are long overdue, utility bills that are past due, a variety of issues. Many of our clients don't have a banking account and just need to sort of understand, why they would want to have a banking account, and sort of the coaches kind of lead them through that process. So the coaches are there really to give individualized help, and this is a 6-month program, so they get the help for 6 months and dealing really with the specific issues that each person has.
Now, what type of support do you provide to the coaches? I'm sure there's people listening to the show who are interested, but maybe, a little concerned about, do they have the proper skill sets to help?
Yep. Well, nobody has to be a financial genius to do this. And in fact, we tell people you don't even have to balance your own checkbook. You just have to know how to tell someone else how to do it.
I like that. That's good.
So we do have some financial professionals, some people who work at the Jeanne d'Arc Credit Union, Enterprise Bank, and other banks in the area, but you really don't have to have a banking background or a financial background. We train people from the time they come in. We bring in the program directors of the agencies that we work with to talk about what it's like to work with low-income clients and some of the special needs that they might have. We have a full orientation where we talk about what the program is going to be like and sort of some of the issues that might come up with clients. And then we have a dedicated coaching coordinator who is available to the coaches at any time to answer their questions. So, and our coaching coordinator is wonderful. She also works with the House of Hope, which is a shelter in Lowell. She has about 12 years of experience working with low-income clients. And she really knows her stuff and is a great support for people. And then in addition, we run a monthly coaching support group. So anybody who wants to can drop in and talk to other coaches. Both our veteran coaches and the new coaches can get together and share ideas on how to improve their relationships. So we do provide a lot of support. There's a lot of materials. Everybody leaves the workshop with worksheets and additional exercises to do together. On our website, the coaches can get onto a back end of the website that has a whole lot of resources that they can pull down, for the particular needs of their clients.
So where do your clients come from?
We decided from the beginning that we wanted to partner with social service agencies because then we'd get sort of more of a homogeneous group of people. And we also felt that if we partnered with an agency, that agency could sort of be a cheerleader for the program and help make sure that people get to the workshops and facilitate the relationships with the coaches. So we have worked with the Lowell Transitional Living Center, which is an adult shelter in Lowell, the House of Hope, which is a shelter for families in Lowell, the Chelmsford Housing Authority, which helps provide rent-assisted housing to people in the Lowell area, South Bay Early Intervention, which is a mental health clinic that helps families that have children with developmental disabilities, American Mojo, which stands for American Moms with Jobs, and this is a very progressive for-profit organization that teaches women to become stitchers. They manufacture clothing, and they have a very nice package of benefits that includes bringing people in like us to teach life skills. And then we started a program recently with Girls Inc. It's a combined program of Girls Inc. and the House of Hope staff to train the staff in some of these basic financial principles, and with the hope that the staff will go back and teach the girls in Girls Inc. and the women at House of Hope some of these skills.
So let's talk about the results so far. What have you seen?
Well, we're actually really, really excited. We do a survey of clients when they come into the program and when they leave the program, and we're basically trying to find out, if we've had any impact on their skills, their behavior, and their level of confidence. And we started this right with our first pilot program, which finished up in March of 2011. And what we found was that we are able to increase confidence of the buddies very significantly. Many come into the program and they're overwhelmed by the financial issues that they have to deal with. But when they leave the program, they're much more motivated and much more confident in their ability to deal with these issues. And that the more confidence that they have, the more likely they are to have good skills like making a budget and sticking with a budget and that sort of thing. So in our pilot program, we found this sort of great leap in confidence and skills. And we recently, with the help of students from UMass Lowell, went back to the women from our pilot program. We found all 8 of them. We surveyed them again, and we were sort of prepared for a little bit of backtracking because we hadn't seen them in a year. But we found that most of them had maintained their level of confidence and skills, and some had even grown since then. So we're really excited. We think that we have a program that works, and we continue to survey all the clients who come in the program and to see how, when we tweak the program, what kind of effect we're having.
So now how can people volunteer as coaches, Anita?
Well, the easiest thing to do, they can go on our website, which is www.budget-buddies.org, and there's a place there where they can request information, or they can just call us at 978-703-0820, and we will invite them to an open house where they can, with no obligation, come and learn more about the program. And then if they decide to sign up, then we'll get them into the orientation, and off we go. We have probably 3 new programs starting in the fall that we're pretty excited about, and we're going to need a lot of coaches for those programs. So we're recruiting now to get people in for the fall.
And what type of time commitment is involved?
We generally have found from the coaches that it averages out about an hour a week. So our workshops are about an hour, and then we ask that they meet with their buddies for about an hour in between the workshops. So on average, it's about an hour a week, plus, that's any time when they come to support groups and things like that.
Now, is there any other types of skill sets you need? Maybe somebody wants to get involved, but they're just not comfortable being a coach?
Absolutely. We're a brand new organization. We're trying to raise money, so we have a development committee that is both looking into grants and building our donor base and holding fundraisers and things like that. We also have a communications committee that is trying to get the word out. We're trying to publicize as much as we can. We're doing things like making videos and PSA announcements and trying to find local businesses who are interested in working with us. So we have quite an outreach, a need for outreach as far as that's concerned. And then we just need help with day-to-day logistics, making sure that all of the materials are there when the coaches and buddies come in for their workshops and that kind of thing.
And now, again, if I want to be a coach, I get a full training on what's expected, correct?
Yep, you'll get a full training, and then the support of a coaching coordinator as we go along to answer any questions. And there are questions. Most of our coaches have not worked with low income clients before or done anything like this. So you don't even have to have been a coach or a mentor before. We can help you with that. You just have to really want to help people. And a lot of our coaches say that they get at least as much out of it as they put into it. I think that the clients that we work with are so grateful that someone has finally taken the time to demystify an area that is so overwhelming and so important to their own success. So we're actually having a graduation tonight, and it's one of my favorite moments, seeing everybody stand up and say, what they've learned and how they expect to put this information into practice.
Wow, that is going to be pretty cool. Hey, we're coming to the end of the segment already. Why don't you grab your contact information? How do people get in touch with you? Okay,
so they can call us at 978-703-0820 or go to our website, budget-buddies.org.
Great. Anita, we appreciate you taking the time out of the day to come on the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
Thank you, Kevin. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
All right. Before we wrap up, Kevin, want to let our listeners know about this Wednesday's event?
Yeah, we're going to be up right back in Nashville for Friends of Kevin event this coming Wednesday night over at the Country Tavern. That's June 20th from 6 to 8 p.m. with a $10 admission fee. Going to be a great event. Get a chance to come up and meet George. We have about 60 people signed up for this event. So, like I say, if you're looking to come out and network, Wednesday night.
Excellent. And how do you register?
I can register right online, facebook.com, Friends of Kevin. You'll see the event. Or you can, if you use Meetup, go up to Friends of Kevin. You can register there also.
Excellent. Thank you. And make sure to listen to Friends of Kevin Radio on Wednesdays as well at noon. Friends of Kevin Radio every Monday from 11 to 1 and every Wednesday from noon to 1 as well. Stand by. More Friends of Kevin Radio coming up after the top of the hour right here on 1590 WSMN.